Hello everybody, Andrew Blake from the digitalaudiomanual.com. Today let's explore the classic house template in Cubase. Previously I dug into the symphonic template and saw that Steinberg had created a really nice option for getting us going with a symphonic orchestra and making use of the Iconica sketch in Halion. So it was only natural for me to be curious and want to explore what else have they put in here that maybe we haven't really paid much attention to or kind of slipped under the radar. So I went back to the hub and went to the same spot as before where it says production. I looked over this group of other templates, and just as another starting point, I went to the top of the list where it says classic house, and clicked on that, and I was greeted with this, where once again we get the notepad giving us some basic information and a breakdown. Before we look through this, and there's some interesting information written here, let me play you what we're given. When you open the template up, you're going to see there's a couple of tracks that look like they have some basic information on them. You have a few tracks that look empty. You basically have like a little 8-bar phrase over here. And if we click the space bar, this is what we get. And that sounds pretty good, which leads me to believe probably more than a few little morsels of musical sound inspiration in here. So let's dig in. Let's go back to those project notes for a minute. And we're told we have a project now that gives us a solid foundation to create a classic house tune. We'll see as we go along. The main thing is it gives you a couple of requirements. So you want to make sure when you're trying to take advantage of this that you've downloaded the various sound packs when you installed Cubase in the first place. It lists here that you need the drum machine content, volume 1. All that stuff will show up in your download assistant. You just want to make sure that you check on it. The other thing it says you need the Halion Sonic and the Sonic Selection. If we open up one of these tracks and it gives us the Halion Sonic, you can see right here on the instrument itself, it says the Sonic Selection. So again, you want to make sure you have that kind of pack installed. You haven't missed some sounds. And then it tells us also that we need the Dance Floor Tech House sample pack. If we come over to our media bay and look at our loops and samples, I can see down here there's kind of this little purple one. There's the Dance Floor Tech House. Again, you'll just want to make sure that these things are in place, or you may play this template and not hear any of the sounds. It also tells us that the track has several insert effects, such as delay and reverb. And if we open up the mixer temporarily, we can see that over each track, there is a large amount of insert effects to be explored, and some send effects here as well. Also, we can see that they've made some EQ changes. So once again, there's a lot that's been put into this template before we even get started. And then the last thing these notes say is that the quantize has been set to a 16th note with an 80% swing. That's interesting. So what have they actually done there? And to understand that, if we go to the drum track, which has patterns in place here, I'm going to open up the lower zone, and I can see they're making use of the new drum machine. So that tells us right off the bat that this template is new for Cubase 14 because we didn't have a drum machine before. If we go over to the editor and I pick any one of these instruments, when I look up on the information, I can see in the quantize area that it is set for a 16th note, which is the way this pattern sequencer works, depending on how you want to divide your note values. And if we look down this column on the left, we can see this little fader under swing is set to 80%. So that's what they're referring to, that this drum pattern isn't playing just in straight time, but is taking advantage of this swing option. We'll investigate that more as we go. What else have they given us here? If I click on this track and read the pop-up, it's telling us it's using a classic house stab. And again, we could open up the instrument. You can see it says house piano chords. And with this track selected, if I play a few notes on my MIDI keyboard, then I get those kind of house stabs. You could also open up the instrument and play the keyboard right on the instrument. Going down to this next track, which says bass, and if I play a few notes, opening this up, we can see they've used Retrolog for this. That's a nice change. It says initial Retrolog, but obviously they've made some changes in the parameters. Then we get this riser, and if we open that track up, we can see they've actually brought a sample into here. We can hit the blue key. And then moving down to the vocal track, again, it's a sampler. If we open that up, we have all kinds of chops of something. If I click on the blue key, or I can hit my keyboard, right away we get some great results there, and we can hear some effects. I'm going to put my usual chord track in here and draw a chord in. In this style of music, you don't have to have fancy chords. I'm actually going to leave just one chord for now. I'm going to put in a C minor, just to have something up here. Then I can go to my tracks, and under the chord tab, I can turn on the live input for chords. And then I know I'm going to have some kind of cohesion with everything sounding right. I'm going to go ahead and record a bass part in here, playing it on my MIDI keyboard. Put a few of these stabs in here. We wind up with something like this. Then we go down to the vocal part. And pretty quickly we get something going. All right, let's have a look at some of the gems that we have in this template that we can use regardless of what style of music we're into. If I open up the lower zone mixer, let's start by examining some of these effects that they put into use here. We start with the track that has the bongos on it. If we click on the effect, we have an imager here. And if we kind of A-B comparison this, if you have headphones on, you can definitely hear that the imager is adding some space to those bongo drums. Right now it's on. This is a good example of how you can take a particular track and do something to it in the whole mix. Go over and listen to the stabs here. I'm going to open this channel up. To start with, we can see we have an instance of the frequency, EQ, which is dipping out some of the high end. We have a Roomworks reverb. Looks like they started with the preset of the FX Afterburner, but they probably made some adjustments to these parameters as well. And then they're making use of this DJ EQ. That's an interesting effect that we don't see too often. And if we A-B comparison all these channel effects to the dry signal, you can definitely hear what the frequency EQ is doing. It really brings down some of that high-end brittleness of the sound. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you find effects that you like, of course, you can go to that individual effect. You have the option to save that as a preset, so you can call that up later in your own project. But when you're looking at the channel in general, every area of this channel can basically be saved as a preset as well. In the insert area where all these effects are, you can click on this little box and save it as an effects chain. Do that with all the other areas as well. For example, if there were channel strips, you could click on this button and save them as a strip preset as well. And the same thing with the equalizer. You can always save your equalizer settings. And if you ever hit a track where you like everything, ultimately you can go up to the upper right and save the whole thing as a track preset. Then all the insert effects, the EQ, and the channel strip, all saved at the same time. Moving over to the bass, we have a black valve, which is a newer compressor in Cubase, and they're also making use of the squasher. Let's turn them both off and hear what happens. We'd have to level match that to make a true comparison, but I can definitely hear some of the sparkle and high end of that bass is removed. Then finally, let's look at these vocal chops. I'm going to turn all the channel effects off. Only once, the one. Big difference there. We have a Roomworks. They made use of the new studio delay. And here's one we don't see too often, the Quadrafuzz. That's a great plugin when you want to add some saturation. All of these effects described in detail in the digital audio manual. So if I play a little example with all the effects on, and then I go through these and disable all these different effects, play the same thing, we have a huge difference in sound there, no doubt. So taking some of these effects and then saving them to use in your own projects is a very valuable production technique, regardless of whatever style of music you're into. All right, let's go back to the drums for a second. And more specifically, this pattern. They've done a very clever thing here that we can all take away as a tip for our own personal use. They've created a single pattern that they repeated 3 and 4 times here, but on the last pattern, shortened it up a little bit and created a separate pattern just for a fill. What a nice option to take advantage of creating a little bit of variety. If we go over to the editor, you can see the full pattern, and there's a list here. It shows the patterns that have been created. Here it shows pattern 1, and here's pattern 2. Go over to this last little area. It shows the pattern 2, and if we expand this a little bit, we can see that it covers only 5 steps. If we kind of move down, we can see that we get certain drums here. What a smart little idea, creating a separate pattern just for a fill. If we play this full pattern and the fill, we get this. That's a great idea to take advantage of for future projects. Consider making a full pattern, then make a tiny little variation just for the fill. And in fact, if I grab this fill, move it down the line a little bit, you can see how the full pattern can be adjusted however you want, lengthwise, either repeating it or making it longer. Then you can shorten it like that and then create this little fill part to put back in its place. If we examine this option they did for the swing, I'm going to go down and solo these maracas. And right now I've removed the swing back to just 0. And this is how it sounds just straight. Listen to what happens when I bring the swing up all the way. You get that real kind of shuffle beat. If you examine all these different instruments, they've included that swing individually on every one of these. So again, something to experiment with that can really change how the rhythm comes off from just a straight drum pattern. All right, if we go back to our mixer and we look around, you can see that we have some send effects. What exactly is happening there? All this is connected to the drum track. Let me open up the drum track. And if I hover over these send effects, pop-ups are telling me that there's an envelope follower here. If I go over this one, again, an envelope follower and a modulator. So that's giving us the clue we're actually making use of the new modulators in Cubase 14. I close this channel down and then go over to my modulator tab. Right now on the drums, it's not showing anything. If I click on the house piano track, look at this. I have all these modulators that have already been pre-designed and are waiting here. Here's a dizzying array of different information. Let me try to break this down for you and show you what you can do with the stuff that they've set up here. As we look at these 3 panels that have already been created, some of the clues that will help you understand what you're actually looking at. For example, right here, there's this lit up area. This is telling me that there's been some kind of side chain set up on this particular panel. We don't know the specifics yet, but we have a side chain connection. And every one of these panels still shows the Add Connection Plus button here. It's very easy to look at this and think that everything's been connected, but the fact that we have these little plus buttons here lets me know that these are not actually being used at the moment. They've been put in place, again, to try to help you get around doing some extra work, but they're actually not changing the sound yet, and they're actually not connected to anything that they're affecting. In order to do that, we have to push these plus buttons and set them up to something. All of this stuff is on this house stab track. I think it's going to be easier for everybody to see if I use a slightly different sound. But what I'm going to do is duplicate this track, which again brings all these modulators down with this new track. But instead of using this Hallian stab, I'm going to go over to my routing tab, click on the thing that says Hallian Sonic, and instead I'm going to change it to a retrolog. I'm going to get rid of this basic information that's already here. Here's where I'm going to take my chord track and bring it down to this new retrolog track. And I'm going to duplicate that chord track so it covers all 8 bars. Just a simple initial sound. If I open up that retrolog, the most obvious thing to change that everybody can hear is if I go up to the knob that says cut off and I start moving that knob, listen to the difference. Everybody can tell that sound. So that's what we'll use for our experiments. Let's try each one of these and let's see what it does to the sound. If I go to this envelope follower in the middle and I examine these buttons that show the side chain is active, if I hit this little drop-down list, I can see that they connected it to the drum track as the side chain source. What that's telling you is every time the drums hit, it's going to cause some kind of change in the sound. So if we play this right now before I press this plus sign, nothing's happening. I hit this plus sign, and now I go up and hit the cutoff button. That's established a link between this modulator and this cutoff knob. And if I turn my drums back on, if you've never used the modulators in Cubase 14, this is a great introduction to some of the ways you can affect your sounds with these new features. I can deactivate this particular effect with this button, go over to this first LFO and turn this on and make a connection with this one. The same way, I'm going to hit the plus sign, then go up and hit the cutoff button, and now this is going to change the sound like this. That's a great effect as your song progresses. You want to do a breakdown, all kinds of different ways we could use that. Let's turn this one off. Then we go over to this last shaper. You see that we have this real high curve and then a space. Again, let's make the same connection that we've been doing. Just hit the plus button, come up and hit my cutoff knob. As long as I turn off these other ones, it's okay to have all of these going to the same destination because I'm only using one at a time. Now going into a long breakdown of all the different parameters and what's happening here. Basically, the short version is there's going to be a long period of time here where the cutoff knob is not affected. And then right at the very end where the drum fill is, the cutoff is going to open up. Here's what it sounds like. This template is a great launching pad for those that have never messed with the modulators. And even if you have, a lot of creative ideas are available here to explore and understand with what they've given you in this basic setup. So even if you're not a house music enthusiast, there are a lot of great ideas musically here to explore that you could incorporate into whatever style of music you're into. On the other hand, if you are looking to make some kind of house music, let's put a quick little tune together here to see how we can use this and come up with a basic idea. I'm going to put my loop pointer over everything for our 8 bars, and I'm going to create a tune where I copy this out 4 different times, so I'll just make duplicates of it. And the only thing you really have to do is decide what parts you want playing at any given time. An easy way to do that is to hit Control-A to select all my information, hit Shift-M, which mutes everything, and then I can just kind of unmute different things in different sections. I say let's begin with the drums. So I'm going to unmute all of those. I'm going to make a little cut on the vocal part. I'm going to come down to the beginning, hold my Alt key, make another cut, which makes exact increments of that same thing. And then for the vocal part, I'll just put in little bits and pieces to kind of get us going. Leave one of those modulators on the retro log to start with as well. So it begins with something like this. In the next section, I'll keep the drums going, bring those bongos in. I'm going to write some automation to mute and unmute these various modulators. They have that new plugin, call it Underwater. Let's add that to the bongo, typing in under, it shows up right here. If I play it and move this knob around a little bit, let's write the automation, play a little bit. This third section, I'm going to bring in those piano stabs. I'm going to drop the drums out. I'll keep the bongos in. I'm going to chop those vocals up again. And then in the last part, we'll bring everybody back in, including the bass and the vocals. So let's have a listen to what we've created. Think about ways you can use these tools and techniques in your own music and productions. Have fun with it. And then I'll see you next time. All right, it's going to wrap it up for today. As always, if you haven't already, click the link in the description of this video to learn how you can get access to the all-new Digital Audio Manual Preferred. It's the clear, step-by-step solution showing you not only the tips, but all the secret and typically never talked about features that'll take you to a higher level of using your software. If you've been searching for an all-in-one solution to take you from start to finish and learning Cubase and Wavelab and other music software, this is exactly what you've been looking for. So click on the link in the description and come and be part of the clear path to a better learning experience. So today we had a look at the classic house template in Cubase. We began by opening the template, played a little sample of the included tracks, read through and discussed the project notes. Then we explored the effects, talked about the drums and the drum fill and how the different patterns were constructed. And then we got into the modulators. And then finally we created a short classic house tune. As we continue to explore all the different features and functions and the various creative tools that are available to us, as always, it's great to have you guys here, and I'll see you on the next video.